All right, hello everybody. Welcome to day number 6 of July Daily Challenges. And can you believe it? It's been 6 days already. Tomorrow will mark a week that you have been doing all these July Daily Challenges. For all the students who have not yet started, these are all Code Vita questions, completely free of cost. You can go sign up for these contests and actually just start doing these challenges. You'll get to know so much more about the Code Vita curriculum and what are the kind of questions that Code Vita likes to ask. Especially next week is Mock Vita. I hope all of you know. These are the kind of questions that will really help you out in Mock Vita. Okay, let's get to the point for today, which is we are doing the question called Road Rash. Before I start, a quick shout out to the top 5 of today. They are Mohammad Ansar, Harshvardhan, Sai Teja, Pravalika and Rishabh. Congratulations for being the top 5 in day 6. So every day we have new people coming in on the leaderboard. Congratulations, tomorrow it could be you. Please sign up and try out the challenges yourself. Every day 10:30 a.m. we are going to get a new challenge comes up every day at 10:30 a.m. First to crack it is on top of the leaderboard. You can sign up on this link, and that link is also in the description below, so you can sign up there. Also a small reminder again that we are running an early bird offer on the Code Vita course. So if you bought it for that is instead of buying for 2,999, you can buy it for 2,499. And that course is available here. All of the concepts that we are discussing in the daily challenges have tutorials for it. We have mentor support for it as well. And best way to practice for Code Vita is to actually do Code Vita questions. That's what we have here. Finally, once you complete a question, you can share on LinkedIn, Facebook as well as WhatsApp that you completed the question, and you'll receive a personal congratulations from me. Already 2 students have done it. I really want to thank Meher and Jagdish. They have shared on LinkedIn that they're continuing to do the daily challenges. So share on LinkedIn. Once you complete a challenge, you can share directly from the Edist platform and let me know, tag me. I'll be more than happy to congratulate you personally for your achievement of solving the question. So yeah, that's there. Let's come to the question for today, which is called Road Rash. And this question is, it came in Code Vita 2019 again, and it's called Collision Course in Code Vita 2019. So it's actually a simpler question than yesterday's question, and that's why a lot more students were able to solve it today. So let's look at the question today. Okay, I'll open it up on the Edist platform. One second, let me open it up here on the Edist platform. Okay, challenge number 6, Road Rash. Opening it up. Okay. So basically what happens is, on a busy road there are multiple cars are passing by. A simulation is run to see what happens if the brake fails. There's a bunch of English given here, but what it comes down to is there is going to be multiple cars and there's a particular point, the origin. We want to know when the cars come and hit at the origin. So for example, they all move in a uniform speed, they all move in a straight line. So all these cars are coming from various different directions, right? Somebody's coming from east, some from north, some from northeast, southeast, southwest, wherever. They're coming from all these directions, and they come and they try to hit at a particular origin. And what will happen is that we want to know that how many collisions happen at the origin, right? We want to ignore all the other collisions, because even after 2 cars collide, apparently they keep going in the straight direction. So let's say before they collide at the origin, they collide somewhere else, right? So they collide somewhere in the first quadrant or something. They will still continue to go towards the origin. So first of all, that won't happen, because if all of them are going to collide at the origin, then they won't collide before, because they're moving all in the straight line. So they're all going to move directly to the straight line, and they're going to move all towards the origin. Now your question is, when do they arrive at the origin? And if more than one car is arriving at a particular point of time at the origin, that means we are going to have collisions. So for example, if we go and check the input format, this is some input that's given to us. We'll come to that. What we see is that all of them start reaching the collision, reaching the origin at a certain point, and that is when, for example, A, B and C all reach the origin at the same point. And because A, B and C all reach the origin at the same time, it means that A and B have collided, A and C have collided, and B and C have collided. Okay, D and E reach at the same time, so D and E have collided. So what it means is, if more than 2 cars are reaching the origin at the same time, we will take all the possible combinations of their collisions. That's what we are going to do. If only 2 cars are reaching the origin at a particular time, then we will take only that combination. You'll take D and E, but you won't take E and D. And if only 1 car is reaching the origin at a particular time, then you will not even take multiple collision. You not even take a collision, because 1 car cannot collide with itself, right? At least I hope not. So okay, So for example here 5, 12 and 1, right? This means that it is moving at a speed of 1 kilometer per hour or whatever you want to call it. And this means that 5 and 12 is the xy. So that means it is at a distance of root of x square plus y square, right? That's how we calculate the distance, and it's going to reach the origin at a particular time. Let's look at another example rather than this one over here. Let's look at a separate example, which is this one. 1 second. Yeah. Let's see, this is where our cars are, right? So we are supposed to meet at the origin. There's one car here at -30, we'll call it B. There's a car here at A, which is 0, 3. There's a car at 2, 0, and there's a car at D, 4, 0, right? And each one of them has separate speed. So for example, B and A have the same speed. C has a different speed. It's a really high speed, 10, and D has a speed of 4, right? Now what will happen is, which is the first one that will reach the origin? Well, C will, because it's traveling at speed of 10 kilometers per hour. That means in how much time will it take? Well, we all know speed is equal to distance by time. So time is equal to distance upon speed. So the distance is only 2 to reach the origin and speed is 10. So just in 0.2 hours or 0.2 seconds, whichever unit you take, it's going to reach. And when it reaches in 0.2 seconds, nobody else is there at this point, right? Neither A nor B nor D have reached at this point at the origin currently, right? So when C reaches the origin, there is no collision at that point. But A will reach the origin when it is 3 kilometers away. It will, and its speed is 3 kilometers per hour. So it's going to take exactly 1 hour to reach the origin. Similarly, B is 3 kilometers away, and it's going to take exactly 1 hour to reach the origin. And D is 4 kilometers away, but its speed is 4 kilometers per hour. So again, it will take exactly 1 hour to reach the origin, which means that there are three, that is A, B and D. There are 3 cars, and all 3 of them are going to reach the origin at the same time, which means how many collisions will we have? We'll have A and B, D and B, and A and D, right? How did we come across these 3? Well, it's just as simple as you have to choose any 2 from a given number of collisions. So you could use NC2 combinations, right, to figure out what are the collisions that are going to happen. Just summarizing this approach in terms of steps. When does a car reach the origin? Well, we can get that from we know speed is equal to distance by time. So therefore time is equal to distance by speed, right? So we know this, that time is equal to distance by speed. We can get this part over here. So we'll get time is equal to distance by speed. Now how do we calculate the distance from the origin? This is your very basic coordinate geometry, which is like distance is equal to square root of x square, it will be x minus origin is our destination, right? So it's going to be like x minus 0 whole square. Basically it's root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So it becomes x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 0 whole square, right? This is what it's going to be, which actually just comes down to distance is equal to square root of x square plus y square, right? That's what it comes down to. So this is the distance, and speed is already given to us in terms of the input. So when we do distance divided by speed, we will get this. So what time is equal to is this thing, the distance divided by this entire thing divided by the speed. That's what the time will be equal to, right? And finally, if there are x cars, so let's say, as we said, if there are like 2 cars, how many collisions will be there? We can use the formula. I'll just remove this part. Right. So we can use the formula, we all know the formula, 1 second, NC2 is the formula that we can use over here. From N, how many would you select? The other way of looking at it is, let's say if I have only 1 car, right, that's coming, so then there is going to be 0 collisions, right? If I have 2 cars, there's going to be 1 collision, right? So let's look at it in this way. So like one choice I have is to do NC2 every time, okay? The other choice I have is I have 1 car, so car 1, or rather let me just write it, 1 car 0 collision, right? 2 car 1 collision, 3 cars, how many collisions now? 3C2 is 3, 4 cars, that is 4 cars, how many would you have? You would have 4C2, so 4C2 would be 6, right? So it's going to be 6. and 5 cars is going to be 5c2, 5c2 would be 10, so you'll have 10 and so on, right? So do you see a pattern over here, right? How many collisions that you're getting every time? Actually the number of collisions is the sum of in a sense it's this, right? So you're getting 4 plus 6, 10 over here, 5 plus 10 would the next one, if the next one is 15, then we're actually getting the right thing as well, right? So for example, you have 6 over here, and 6c2 is 6 into 5, yeah, it's actually 15. So it's actually 15 and so on, right? So it's actually the sum of the previous two. Why does that happen, right? So why is it actually happening? Well, the reason for that happening is, let's say previously there were 2 cars and only 1 collision. When one more car comes in, it's going to collide with each one of them, right? So it's going to collide with each one of them. So that means it added how many more? It added 2 more to the existing collisions, right? So there were 1 collision, it added 2 more, right? Now there are 3. When I add 1 more car to make it 4, what's going to happen? I'm going to take 3 and I'm going to collide with each of those previous 3 cars. So then it becomes 6 cars, right? Similarly, when this 4 becomes 5, that means all of the 4 cars will get collided with. They had their own collisions, and now all of the 4 cars will get collided with, so it becomes 4 plus 6, 10. When I have 10, so when I have 5 cars and 10 collisions, I add 1 more car, what's going to happen? I have those 5 and 10 collisions anyways. To those 10 collisions, I'm going to add an extra collision with each of the 5 cars, so it becomes 5 plus 10, which is 15. I don't need to calculate NC2 every time. What I can simply do is, if the previous one was 3, I'm just going to add the previous frequency once again to bring it to 6. If the previous frequency was 6, I'm going to add 4 to it. That is how many cars existed before. I'm just going to add it to that and take it forward, right? So that's how I'll calculate my frequencies over here instead of always calculating NC2. Nothing wrong in calculating NC2. If you want to calculate, you can do that. The only thing with that is you will need to, because there are so many test cases, you will need to write an optimized version of that one. Probably you'll need to store all your factorials beforehand, right? So that is one thing you can do. Also, NC2 is nothing but n into n minus 1 by 2. So you don't even need to actually calculate factorials every time. NC2, as you might know, is n into n minus 1 by 2. Right, so you can also do n into n minus 1 by 2 every time instead of looking at the previous one. Anyways, these are all the approaches, and there's no right approach. There's no rather there is no approach that is the only right way. There are many ways to do it. Okay, so this is how we do it, and actually if you go and try to implement it, it actually becomes super easy. For each car, first calculate distance, then calculate time, frequency of cars reaching at that time, and print the total collisions, right? I'll show this to you in the code, so you'll get a better understanding of how it's going. Right, 1 second. Okay, let me unlock this. Right, so what I get is I imported maths for the square root function. First I take the input, so in the input format, first I have to take how many are the total cars available. Then for each car I am supposed to get the x, y and its speed, right? So I took that. Because time is equal to distance by speed, I calculated the distance over here, I calculated the time, and then I just divided it, right? If this current time has occurred before, this is just a way of increasing the frequency. Again, if you guys have not seen this pattern before, do read up more about maps and frequencies and stuff like that, but this is just a way of increasing the frequency of the number of times this particular time has occurred. Like, has any car ever come and hit me at 2 seconds, right? If no, then make it 1 right now, because I just got 1 car there. If there is already there, I'm just going to increase the frequency, right? And the way I'll calculate the total collision is how many ever collisions I had before plus whatever was the number of frequencies I had, sorry, the previous amount of cars I had previously minus 1, right? So that's how many I'm going to do. That is, I will add how many ever were there previously. 1 second, let me just phrase this in the correct way. Basically, how many ever collisions were already there, how many ever cars were already there. So this frequency of current time calculates the cars, not the collisions. How many cars were there? Minus 1. It's just a way of saying that previously how many ever cars I had, I am going to add them again because I'm going to collide with all of them once more. So that's how we calculated this one over here. Then we print the total collisions, and then we print the, that's it. This print frequency is just for my debugging purposes. So I'll just copy this code, show you that it's working, right? 1 second, let me just show you that it's working out. right, run and submit. Yep, it does work, and it does also give you this congratulations message. So I request you all to share with your friends that you indeed are solving this. Also share on LinkedIn and tag me. Let me see how many of you who solved it first. So if you solved the first, do tag me. I'd love to congratulate you personally as well. So yeah, a recap of what we just did. Pretty simple rudimentary functions of speed, time and distance. Didn't do anything apart from that. And we were able to calculate it, a little bit of frequencies, and yeah, this was a third level or a fourth level question of TCS CodeVita. So it's not too difficult. I hope you understand that these questions are not too difficult if you at least have the practice of doing these questions. As I was saying yesterday, again, don't miss the golden opportunity also to check out this amazing new course that we've launched, which is the Webmaster Bootcamp. That is close to about a 12-13 projects you can do in just one course, which is mentioned over here. You can just do that. So this is the course. Check out the amazing projects that you can do, and trust me, if you get these kind of projects, then you'll have a really big chance of getting hired right away. Second, yeah, so you have a big chance of getting hired right away. Companies are looking at projects like these, and all of these projects are not they are not taken up from the website. These are actually projects created by previous students who've completed this course, and you will also get to complete these kind of things. Recently we had a student complete these projects and then get offered a package of 8.5 lakhs per annum. Obviously their data structures algorithm was also good, but their projects played a huge part in that. So you can, and we'll be giving out more information of those things as well. But yeah, do sign up for this course, try a fun free module. And yeah, this is Abhinandan. You can reach out to him. He's very passionate about teaching coding. So you can reach out to him on the platform, and he'll be more than happy to guide you about this course as well. So that's it from my side. Let's see who's on top on daily challenge number 7. Daily challenge number 7 is a tricky one. You're going to spend a lot of time solving it. I hope all of you are able to solve it though. It's going to be an interesting one. Alright, all the best everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I'll see you all next time. Happy weekend. Thank you.